and listen to me rant. But I'm gonna go on a rant today, because today there was a breakdown on Black Man Unfiltered, which is a channel that I participate on. It is a channel that I am a big advocate for and of. They have wonderful conversations, solution-based conversations. They have good panels. People are polite. We have honestly, participating in that show, that channel, on those panels, the best part about it is there's actually like a really high level of fellowship over there. So like we'll have the show, and one of the things I love about those panels is like after the show, even though I should be going to bed because I'm going to feel like death the next day, we end up staying up for like another hour or two continuing the conversation. So like most of the people who participate in that show specifically are not there for clout. They're not there to get their shots in and get out. Like they actually are there after the panel. And the only other place that I've experienced that is over on Sir Hale's panels. Like that level of fellowship is something special. It's something interesting. One of these days I will get this done on a day where I can actually have time, which will probably be the next house when I have the space, the time, and the freedoms to be up a little bit later over the weekend, maybe. But I really like those conversations. I like them as much as the panels that I participate in. Because like I've kind of dialed back. Like I'll go support the homies, but I've really dialed back on conversations that I don't have any input on. I don't have anything to contribute, or it's just not going to be a conversation that's going anywhere. I generally have been trying to steer clear of those. I don't like them. But like I said, the conversations today were really good. Black Man Unfiltered, if you haven't watched it, it was earlier today. It was today's stream. Actually, here, let me go ahead and share this on Facebook really quick. You know, I got to go do my promo stuff. Live, tab in, boom. And then I just share that to my Facebook fam. But I really don't, let me go pull this conversation up so that way you guys can see which video I'm talking about. But it was really a great conversation. So hold on, let's go here. Black Man Unfiltered himself was live. Go to the video. I'm going to keep it muted, but I'm going to share this for you guys now. Share screen. So Black Man Unfiltered did a reaction to If I Were the Devil. And this is a very old publication. It's like, I think it was the 60s. I'm not sure when it was. But it goes through. Shout out to Black Man Unfiltered Network. That is a dope network. I high-key recommend everybody to come over and check this one out. This episode especially was a good one. But it turned into a conversation where, I mean, I don't want to rehash something that somebody else already did, but it was such a good conversation. I almost want to do it. We'll see who comes up tonight. If you guys want to do a breakdown over here on this side of the street, we can do that. Shout outs to everybody who's tapped in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So we have the floaty icons. There we go. But it was a conversation on what this man. I know, lady. It depends. It depends. If you guys want me to do my synopsis of this, I will. But it depends on who's up here. If the people on the panel actually want to go through it and mine through it, 100%, we can go through it and mine through it. And I'll go. I'm 100% sure it's posted on YouTube a million times. So if that's what we want to do, we can definitely mine that out. But it turned into a conversation about the Letter Mafia, and this is their month. So rainbows, confetti, and fun. And I was a little bit triggered, not gonna lie. And then there were some other things that I saw today, and you know, my dudes over at New Frontier, they about to love the Ray they get today, because I am in full statist mode. I am really galvanizing around this I'm an American thing. Oh, there you go. Today. And we need like the first thing this morning, as soon as I woke up this morning, because like everybody's, what's going on, Roz? What's going on? Uh-oh. Roz said it's going to be a big day tomorrow. And if it's a big day in the market for him tomorrow, it's going to be a big day for me in the market tomorrow, hopefully. So I might have to get the 411 from you when I get up, whenever that is. Because like I almost feel like I'm going to go to sleep and die for a little bit. And then I will come back like Lazarus and I'll be 100% better. Because your boy doesn't do getting sick very often or well. So I'm going to be not conscious for most of this outside of rocking out with you guys. But when I first woke up this morning, the first thing that I saw, because it's Pride Month, and like I've always been in the camp of I don't care what anybody does, but as long as you're not trying to make me do it with you or co-sign it, and I've got some staunch feelings about this. Like I got some thoughts, I got some feelings, but the first thing that I woke up and saw this morning, and if I literally had it, I would bawl this chick out. But the first post that I saw in regards to Pride Month was not like a, hey, this is, he said money, the F word's not, Razik's in the house, Natasha Vincent's in the house, shout out to Casey Moe. Gotta highlight the chat. Without y'all, I wouldn't be here. This would be really awkward if I was talking to myself. Is anybody chatting with me over on Rumble? Not yet, but I got 4 people watching. The numbers are climbing. Consistency has its perks, and I appreciate those of you over on Rumble. Seems like Rumble has a lot of lurking going on, but I am checking that screen. So if you guys talk, you got to give me a minute, but I am making it a point to tap in and check over on my Rumble fam, because I got my first comment yesterday, and when I replied, you weren't there, and I am sorry for that. But if you're here today, say something to me, because I'm checking over there every couple of minutes, and then just give me a couple of minutes and look at your phone, and I will respond. I will. I promise. I respond to my chat. Or you could also come over and tap in with me over on YouTube, but it's probably funner over on Rumble. I figure the people over on Rumble like it over there. I'm starting to like it. I'm exploring the space. Got my first new follower over there. I'm kind of feeling it. People have been watching the show, been tapping in with your boy. But okay. Time for Ray to put on his old man pants and rant a little bit. So the first comment that I saw this morning when I woke up on Facebook, first day of Pride Month, go Pride Month, whatever. I don't. That's cool. I mean, all I gotta say is this Pride every day until Juneteenth, because then that's our day, and I'm taking it all. Everything that come from me, because that's the day that we're missing off of making it a full month in February, which is Black History Month. So like I need that day. You guys got plenty of days. You can spare one. Y'all need to learn how to share. All sorts of stuff like letters and numbers and symbols. But that's not the point. The point is I wake up and this is the first thing that I see. And the post said something to the tune, and I don't have it pulled up. I do not have it pulled up right now. But it said something to the tune that it was like, good morning, you homophobes. I hope that you're as uncomfortable as possible this whole month because it's Pride Month. Yay. Now, I'm smushing my face because of the level of stupidity of this comment. Now, I don't care what you do in your room. I don't care what you do at your house, as long as you're not harming yourself or others. What's up, Nunya? Got to give props out to Nunya. She's a good one. She got an attitude on her, but she a good one. I like her. Casey Moe said Pride Month is stupid AF. I get to be Black Ray. So Nunya, you'll love this. Hold on, before I go into my rant, you'll love this. So on Black Man Unfiltered, which is the channel we have featured up here, Black Man Unfiltered, there's a guy on that participates as an admin over on that channel that's named Black David, and I'm going to tell him next time I'm over there and we're chatting it up, we'll be like, I'm Black Ray. Love it. So, but okay, so I do not care what your preferences are. I don't. People in the letter mafia are like vegans and CrossFitters. They have to tell you. And then They want to talk about how they're oppressed and then be like, yeah, I can relate to you because I'm oppressed too. And I'm like, I don't have to tell people that I'm black. If I could keep my blackness to myself and mind my damn business and get along in life and like actually not have problems, and that was a legitimate option, I would take it. If I didn't have to preface or be judged by my skin before someone talks to me, if I didn't have to let them know that most likely I outclass them, most likely I have a better grasp on the English language, which is their language, than they do. If I didn't have to do that to like make my presence okay, I would do that. I would not need a whole month to express my blackness in people's face, and specifically targeting children's faces. I would just mind my damn business and I would go about my day. I would stay at home. I would go out, get my groceries, potentially not have to worry about getting harassed. And I don't worry about getting harassed. So like, I'm not trying to jump in the victim Olympics and compare, but I'm just saying, like, I can't take my skin off and I can't not tell people about my ethnicity. So the fact that like this group specifically does feel the need to tell everyone about their ethnicity, their sexual orientation, or what they do in their house that I don't care about, is a little bit irking. Not only that, they're a month of celebration. People within said community want everyone else who does not either tell them that what they're doing is a good job. Like when I have heterosexual sex, I don't go online and tell people who don't have heterosexual sex that I just had heterosexual sex and that I hope they're uncomfortable about that. Like the whole concept of this first post, and this is how my day started, was just completely like, I don't say screw white people all Black History Month. I might share some topics, talk about some stuff that I think could help move the needle forward. Oh shit, Razik said you're not black, right? We are both white. We the Blues Brothers. Bruh. Right. I'm not sitting there beating my chest at white people all month because I want them to accept my blackness. The other thing is this. And this is going to sound pretty curt, but like I said, the whole statist, like we're picking teams, is coming out. And Ray's got some feelings about this shit because it's stupid. And I know we didn't make it to 30 minutes before I got the first cuss word out, but that's just how we're rolling. What's up, Quantum Dean of Metaphysic? Rolling through. But this is the thing. There are people within said community that are legitimately both living alternative lifestyles and racist or prejudice. I'd say prejudice. They're not racist. They're like, I hate interchanging those words, but they got some opinions about Black people that aren't good, that could get you slapped up, get paws put on you, you know? And if we're not, like, I don't understand, like, why I have to accept what you're doing when you literally just don't accept my existence because of my skin. Like, I don't have to co-sign anything that you're doing. I don't have to like it. I don't have to want to do it myself. I don't have to engage in it with you. And at the end of the day, these conversations, they're like trying to force this on us. But like the thing is this, I don't even think they're not trying to force it on us anymore. And like, we had a really good conversation today about the targeting of children. And it was really interesting because a person who I do consider to be very smart exhibited all of the behaviors that he accuses other people of doing on that panel. He came in, gave inaccurate information, which forced me to get on the panel to correct the inaccurate information that he gave. And that inaccurate information was that if your child is heterosexual, it's pinned to the top of the chat, Jeremy. Jesus Christ. If your child is homosexual or heterosexual, your child's normal. We're like, I'm not using any of these labels. If your child's normal being the majority of the populace that hasn't been recruited already, if your child's normal, then you don't have to worry about any of the woke agenda. You don't have to worry about drag queens exposing themselves to your child. You don't have to worry about drag queens potentially touching your child at a school function. You don't have to worry about any of those things because that's not going to matter because your child is normal. You don't have to worry about it. And that's just not the case. The reason they're targeting the children, like, sure, we're going to have to see it. We're going to have to see it. We're going to have to sit out here. No, Nightbot is on. I turned it down on my channel because it was like blocking people for no reason. Like Murder couldn't type the way that he wanted to type in the chat, so I turned a bunch of stuff off. I don't know if you have to put something in there, but Nightbot is definitely running on my page for sure. Because it was timing out Murder by default all night because he types in all caps and uses emojis excessively. So I had to make him an admin, and that's how he got his wrench because I want him to be able to go hard in the chat the way that he sees fit. But I had to turn a bunch of stuff off. I don't know if you have to put something in for that link, like if you have to pop something in there. We'll look at it through the night as we're mining stuff out. But they're saying the statement that was made was these kids don't have anything to worry about because they're what's going on? Welcome to the stream, Razik. Let me finish rocking real quick. The kids don't have to worry about it because your kid's straight. The issue is that's not how children's brains work from a psychological perspective. Children do have a reward function, and what's going on in the schools right now is they are rewarding this. We're having to go and put in policies so that we don't have to worry about having drag queens in schools. Why, as a drag queen, do you feel the need to read stories to small children that are not your own? Like, if you want to be a drag queen and read stories to kids, read stories to your family's kids. And that's the thing that we're not talking about. These people's families don't even want them around their kids. Otherwise, you wouldn't need to be at a school full of strangers' kids. What's going on? 777. What's up, brother? How are you doing? Dude, it's been a long time since we rocked out, man. I'm happy to see you, bro. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well, bro. But yeah, so we were told that it was homophobic and not okay from a policy perspective to feel some type of way about this because there's other things that we should worry about. And me personally, I do worry about the other things. Like, you definitely should have your home in order. You should have your body in order. You should be healthy. You should be on your square. I am all those things, except for today. I got a little bit of a cold, but we're getting to it. Absolutely. 7-7. I got a lot of respect for you, brother. 7-7 is a next level troll, but he's smart as hell, bro. Okay. But so they're going in and trying to infiltrate these schools to put these impressions on these children. And in doing so, hold on. Yeah, I still cut mine. In doing so, they're recruiting because these people tend to not reproduce. They tend to not reproduce. They're infiltrating these schools to recruit. And this is a long game. Like, we got to see stuff, and we don't like it. We complain about. Apparently, every friend group has every letter of the letter mafia in it, and we're doing those things. But fortunately, I think the specific person who said this stuff, they don't see it in their city. Like, they're not seeing these policies go through. But when I am seeing it in my city. And when we're sharing these things, they're going, hey, like, they're doing this. They're making these concessions here. They're doing these things. I'm like, we can't even drop the hard R, bro, for black people. But like, we gotta go above and beyond for 1% of the population that's actively trying to recruit to get more members because they can't reproduce themselves because they're failing at literally what it is that makes humans thrive and humans flourish, which is having children, having families, and reproducing. It's kind of what we're here for. And we're not supposed to worry about that when they're terraforming policy. Their agenda is not one to promote that's pro society, even. It's not pro making things better. None of the things that they're doing at this juncture is what's going on, telling Stewart. Mulatto Preservation LLC. Good evening. Welcome to the chat. See, we got some new people showing up. We got some old people showing up. We got some people that I've been missing their faces showing up. This is great. But they're recruiting. They're recruiting children. They're recruiting the next wave because they can't make the next wave. So there's not anything that you're going to tell me that says that when you're removing conservative school board members so that you can get very, very far radical left school board members put in place after the election is over with, after the person's been doing the job for a couple of weeks, and then you just retcon it and say, oh, we gotta recount the votes, and then you're sliding the person that you wanted in so you can get your agenda across. I'm not buying that. Like, at that point, you're over the line, because like now it's not a matter of you forcing me to do what you want, because if you're within arm's reach, I can force you to not call me the N-word. There's a consequence for that. You can get forced a whole way up off this fucking planet. If that's where you want to take it. But these people are using policy, which is actually more insidious, because the people who don't care will be affected at some point. And normally that point is when it's too late. And they're shaming, and we're supposed to not shame. We also got chastised for wanting to bring shaming back. But like, that group literally shames everybody who says anything against them. We're actively being shamed for going like, hey, like, this is unacceptable. We can't do this to children. We don't want to have policies where children are mutilating their bodies and becoming part of the medical financial complex forever. Also, as they become adults and they can't function the way that they were intended to function, facing mental health issues. But we can't talk about that, because that makes us homophobes. But they can talk all day about them wanting us to be uncomfortable during their month. They can talk all day about them being able to expose themselves to, and whatever, like, expose themselves in their ways to our children. That's okay. That's our fault. We're obviously out of accord for just like wanting to have the kids go to school and be educated. I like, maybe they should just learn how to read, do math, some science. Cut open a frog, spin off a little baby pig head. I don't know. Like, I like, it's to the point now to where I feel like I'm crazy. Okay, yeah, absolutely. No, dude, 777, you can definitely come up, bro. That's the reason I posted it, man. All right. Quick question before you go on your spiel. Am I a homophobe?
You asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, thank you. Okay, you can go.
All right, thank you. Great show, by the way. I tuned in.
Thank you.
I only tune in to good shows and good content creators.
I appreciate that, man. That's
besides Chaotic Truth, because he sucks. So I don't want to talk too much. My son is 4. He's starting school pretty soon. He's starting kindergarten. I was talking to a lady friend. That's what my grandmother used to call women I would fuck. Is there swearing here or no?
No, I'll go for it. We're past the 30-minute mark, man.
All right, I'm not gonna. I'll keep it PG.
Bro, I'm not monetized yet. It doesn't matter.
So here we go. So she mentioned something. She said, "Yeah, schools are weird now," because she's got 2 kids. One's like 9. One's, I don't know, 6, 7. I don't know. But I'm like, yeah, schools are weird. And I was just thinking, what does she really mean by that? Because when I went to school, you never heard, I don't want to, say certain words on here to get you in trouble.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
I never
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I never heard FAGs in school. I never heard the word, Transformers in school. And we had to learn about that, like, just from life, not from school. Maybe you see one. But you know what? Growing up, I'm not going to talk too long. But I never used to see a lot of, FAGs or any TRANs fucking, excuse me, where I come from.
Yeah.
I never used to see them. Never. Now they're all
Yeah.
over the place.
Right.
It's disgusting.
And I don't see how, like, the issue that I have with the take that, like, oh, this doesn't matter if your kid's straight, is like you're like, we can look at what happens specifically. For me, my point of reference is within Black culture. Like, if you're indoctrinated into racism immediately as a child, you grow up and you feel some type of way about white people. You feel some type of way about words. You are not able to, you carry that chip. So if that happens with a specific group of people, and then you're talking about if you're bullied in school, even if your kid's straight, if he goes, you know what, I'm joining the club.
Right.
I'm going to join the club today. Like, I want to do this. I'm going to be that. I'm going to be a toaster oven now. Now you can't pick on me. Now I have a whole social group. I have a community that I'm now immediately in.
Right.
That's going to just take me, warm embrace, right. And so I'm like, okay, so you're telling me that's literally the gang recruitment model. Like,
you know what's sick to me is when they. Okay, so just recently I was filling out my son's registration for school, right? And they didn't do it yet, but pretty soon they will classify male, female, or other,
yeah.
Or you know what I mean, or like whatever they're going to use. But what the hell else is there besides male and female? You're going to say that a 4-year-old is a gender neutral human being now? Like what? Like where are we in this world? You know what I mean?
I just had this conversation with my son today.
Did he come home and say, "Dad, I'm a toaster oven"?
Oh, that's
no.
tough.
He doesn't come home to my house.
Right.
What's up,
but yeah, but no, like I talked to him about it, and I was like, I don't know, how many genders are there of lions?
Right.
2.
Right.
How many? And we went through a bunch of animals, right? And I'm like, okay. So, and I started doing quick hits, and he's like, 2. I said humans. He goes 2. I was like, right, 2. That's the answer.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's really always been the answer. There's been no new science. Like, we need to stop. It's so crazy because the people who are talking about science deniers are the science deniers.
Facts.
And it's nuts to me.
Well,
sorry, Devin, go ahead.
No, just real quick. It's the people who really created this. Some people will say, oh, the Democrats created this. It's the people that don't have a backbone that created this, whether they're Democrats, Republicans, or whether they're just in charge, or, the principals at the school, directors, whatever. It's the people that can't stick up for what they truly believe in because they're scared of, oh my God, did he just say that? Did she just stand up for herself?
Right.
And getting canceled.
Right. Well, I mean, when you have these conversations, it's like people want to like whisper behind closed doors. And I'm like, at a certain point, like you have to go, this group of people literally is saying, we want to just destroy all the stuff that's been standing, all the stuff that got us air conditioning, nice roads, safety. We want to destroy that. And also, if you say anything to us, we're going to shame you into just oblivion. So like, don't even say anything and just let us destroy civilization.
Right.
As we know it. We don't care. We want to do social experiments. We want to experiment on ourselves. That's not going to be enough. We want to experiment on your kids. We want your kids to be us. Screw you and what you want to do in your household. I have no respect for what you do in your house. And this is the exact argument that I had when people were chastising this exact community. I was like, whatever so-and-so does in his house doesn't affect me. Like, I don't care what you do in your house. But like, as soon as you get to the threshold of my door, that conversation changes.
Right.
And when you start seeing them, your door is your policies. Your door is your 100%. Local laws.
100%.
When they're gonna use these tools that we're supposed to uphold. I mean, we have the FBI right now. They're doing more investigation on us, the citizens, than they're doing on people that are a threat to us, the citizens, right now.
Right. Yeah. Homeland Security.
100%. And apparently we're the problem.
Yeah, Homeland Security is more, they're looking at us more than the threats from outside of our homeland. You know what I mean?
Right. And it's and nobody wants to say anything about it. And it's like, how far are we going to carry this? Because there's ways for this to work where everybody can do what they want as long as you're not doing it with kids. Like you want to be in an adult relationship, you can do whatever you want. You want to turn into a toaster oven when you become an adult, go for it. Because you're an adult, and I don't care about you once you're an adult. Like, honestly, like, you're your own individual. You can make decisions then.
I think it's dangerous. I think it's dangerous what they're doing to kids, though, because a child's mind, they're grooming these children to be like when I was growing up, I'm sure as we all were in gym, you played basketball, the gym teachers would say, hey, your shirts, your skins. So let's say there's these kids that are like, taking their hormones, whatever they're doing. There's little boys growing huge tits, respectfully.
Facts.
Like, what are you going to do? You're going to say, here, little Johnny, you're on the shirts because you have a huge set of tits because you're 12 and you're taking, estrogen pills.
Yeah. And then he's gonna cry when his shit gets swatted. Like, I mean, I don't understand. Like, you can't even play the game right now.
It's just not right what they're doing, and the only way to change it is a true leader that really climbs to the top of this political realm, and not for nothing, but Trump is that leader. I would say.
I mean, I can't even argue with you there.
Or whoever.
We need somebody. And I'm like, if he wants to step up to the plate, get more power to him.
Can you play the clip of Biden falling?
Oh, shit. Hold on. Let me find it.
Recent. I mean, he fell about 50 times, but.
Let's see here. Just go ahead. Is it this one?
Yeah, it's just.
Oh, Jesus Lord. Well, we gotta give Washington Post a thumbs up for
He's just
giving us
the bam.
Oh no!
He has no clue what he's doing.
Oh no! Oh no! And then he pointed at nothing. Bro, he said that ghost tripped me.
That's what we all do when we fall. We just like get up and look at whatever made us.
He said, did you see the Secret Service guy? Did you hold on? Did you just see that? He pointed at the ghost again, and the Secret Service guy was like, "Yeah, Grandpa, just sit the fuck down." Hold up. Here we go. Hold on. He's like, you gotta get that. He's like, yeah, there's nothing over there. Bro.
He just starts giggling.
Oh my god! Like,
they've been playing that in my algorithm like all over the place for some reason.
Oh, I mean, you should probably put a trap beat behind it.
Right.
That is the least popular candidate in the history of this nation.
I've seen that. I've seen those stats. Yeah.
The people who voted for him don't even like him.
That's just it, though. A bunch of people who voted for him didn't even know that they did.
A huge disapproval right now, too, or whatever it's called. They want him out of there.
Think about this. This dude has run 3 separate times, and he lost in the primaries to Walter Mondale in '84. I'm going to tell you something, dude. Walter Mondale lost in the biggest landslide in history.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They really didn't like him.
Right. So think about this, man.
I've never even heard of him.
Oh, that was Mondale Reagan '84.
Oh, yeah. I mean, fuck, man. Going back.
Dude, Reagan won every single state except for Minnesota.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, it was the biggest landslide of all time.
I think Kennedy's a joke to even be bringing up CIA stuff with Bobby Kennedy and JFK. I think it's just kind of a mockery of his whole family.
I don't know. I hate how he talks.
I love conspiracies, though.
Well, but he's pro Bitcoin, man. Oh yes, he's accepting donations for his campaign of Bitcoin.
No shit. Oh, I didn't know that. Sir.
But I hate his voice. Like, I hate how he talks. Like, somebody like karate chopped him in the throat at some point.
He's a sicko. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, dude, he talks like a weirdo. Like, I wouldn't let you be around my kids, but like,
I don't like how Bitcoin's at 26 and just hanging out here now. But
dude, we're just wait.
That's another show. I know. That's
100. No. I'm saying just wait. Like, it's happening. It's what's gonna happen is gonna happen. We're 2 years. Next 2 years.
I think what Rozzy says is not only one of the funniest things I've ever seen written down, but I think it should be somewhat of a crime, though. I do. I think it should be.
I can't get with that. I don't want to be controlling what people do in their home, man. Like, if like, I don't like that concept, which is why I'm so adamantly pissed that these people fought to normalize their shit to get left alone. And then they were like, no, we're going to take 10 more steps and make this weird. And I'm like, why are you doing this? Like they almost seem, have you ever been over to a relative's house that has like a child that they blatantly neglect?
Yeah.
And then child,
I've seen.
Well, so like, I'll tell you exactly how it works. So you'll go over there and the kid will be like cool for a little bit. And you're like, cool little kid. You get the frick on around from away from me. And then they'll come back and they'll do something little, and then they'll look to see if you're looking. Like, hey, did you notice me?
Right.
And you're like, get out of here. You're stupid. And then they'll come back and they'll like escalate a little bit. They'll do something a little bit dumber. And then you'll be like, dude, like I'm not about to like pay attention to this shit, but like you look over at them, they make eye contact, and they're just like, oh, okay, cool, I'm gonna go about. I got my little hit of dopamine because you looked at me. No one dude, and then they just keep escalating until you gotta beat them half to death with a pillow, man. And then like you just like you're smushing them with the pillow, and you're like, I just wanted you to freaking leave me alone. Like that's all I wanted, and that's how I feel about what's happening with the letter mafia. They keep adding letters. They're adding shit to the rainbow. Like it's not even a fucking rainbow anymore. They're just adding stuff. They're almost making their own nation state flag out of these colors, right? They're taking letters and symbols. Like we can't even add anymore. Like 2 + 2 no longer equals 1. They took that shit.
Like, what do they want? Yeah, like my question is like, you got what you wanted. You guys they can get married now. You guys are married. You guys can go, shave your heads and be men, women, whatever you want to be.
Right.
But what else do you want now? Just go live your life somewhere,
But that was never the goal. And that's That's the conversation.
Natasha got the updated. There's a number in there. They took 2.
Yeah, 2 spirit. Right. So
what?
And a plus sign.
I was telling people this 11 years ago.
Looks like it should be a password.
Did you get the messages I sent you?
Yeah, I did. Hold on.
Yeah, you should check those out. That's 11 years ago, and it reads like I just wrote it today.
Hold on, let me.
Yeah, actually, if you want to blur my name, since it's my real name,
I'll just.
Jimbo Jackson.
Facts.
Damn it,
Jimbo John.
You just doxed me.
Jimbo John Gene Jackson.
Jimbo John.
You gave my full slave name.
Damn. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Do you want me to just read it?
Sure.
I can't blur your name.
Yeah, just read it. That's why you don't accidentally dox the guy.
Right. So this seems like we're just going to go back and forth unless I explain. So here goes. Most proponents of gay marriage believe that the people are born gay and therefore they should be able to marry who they are attracted to, since they were born that way and can't help it. With me so far. Now, G people are not the only group that is not sexually attracted solely to the opposite sex. There are people that are sexually attracted to animals, young children, and inanimate objects. By the same logic as gay marriage proponents, those people should be allowed to marry whom they are sexually attracted to. Also, since they were born that way and can't control it, if you support gay marriage on the basis of born with a sexual attraction, then you have to support kitty marriages,
right,
and bestial marriages on the same principle. And I, for one, will not throw my support behind that ideology. I know who you were talking to. Yeah, me and him get in arguments about stuff all the time.
Yeah, you do. You should check the other 2, though. So basically, the idea there is that people are trying to push that people are born with a sexual preference. If you push that, then the next logical steps are people who are also sexually deviant. People who...
Right.
Yeah, so, and this has always happened. So everybody talks about progress because they've stolen the language, right? This is progressive, but it's not. It's actually regressive. Right. This has all happened before. Ancient Greece, 100%. Ancient Rome.
100%.
Right.
And you tell them about that and they don't want to have that conversation. They're just like, well, we should be able to just do what we want to do. And I'm like, I believe in the rights of survivorship. I don't think you have to call it. I didn't think you had to call it marriage. Most people of that camp at the time didn't believe that you had to call it marriage. It was just that was the institution which allowed you to pass things on to your significant other. And I do believe that as a right, as an American, that is a right everybody should have. We can call it whatever we want. Also, I think if you want to marry a horse, marry a fucking horse, dude. Like, I don't care. As long as you're not trying to marry a child. Like, I really, like, you want to marry your truck, dude? Marry your truck, bro. Like, I don't care. I really don't. Fuck your truck.
So
like,
here's
give it all
thing.
you got, bro.
Fuckyourtruck.com.
Yeah,
literally.
Here's my thing about that though. So in having this conversation, I completely agree that gay couples should have the same abilities as regular married couples. They should be able to claim each other on their taxes. They should be able to visit each other in the ER. All that stuff. That's all fine. That's a civil union, and I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
But the word marriage was made by a specific institution, and that institution is the church. So
100%.
the church gets to define what that is, because marriage is not a rite, R-I-G-H-T. It is a rite, R-I-T-E, rite of passage. So, and it's always been that way through the church. So the church is who should be deciding that. And the church said,
100%.
hey, you know, this book says clearly that you shouldn't be doing that. And there are many places where it says that. It's not just implied. It's in no uncertain terms clearly says if a man lays with another man, he's going to go to hell. So if that's your belief, which we're talking about marriage, so if that's your belief, then those two things don't go together. I honestly don't believe that the state should be involved in any marriages at all because of that.
Facts.
So, but since the state got in, this is my other thing. Since the state got involved and they're handing out marriage licenses, then they should be available to everybody. And that sucks.
Well, so that's what I was getting at is like, I 100% agree with you. And like, the one thing that I would say is religions are based on intolerance. Like they're rules. Rules have lines. Like there's a definitive line. Like you can gauge a religion by what it's intolerant of. When it comes to policing what people can and can't do, you know, my original thought, and like Nunya and Razik are both going hard in the chat, and you know, at this juncture,
Razik is really funny.
At this point, they're both actually right.
Yeah,
and you know, I hate to say it because like Ben Shapiro was given the slippery slope conversation, and it's not that I'm scary about it. The thing that I don't like is I don't want to be the person that's going and enforcing what somebody else does in their house, because the way that I navigate, I'm like, if I'm willing to die on this hill, who's gonna come make me?
I hear you.
So as a man, I navigate as a man. I'm like, if you want to navigate in your household, just don't come over here doing that shit. Right. Like I don't care. But when you get into the point of like, I'm gonna force you to accept this, I want you to be uncomfortable. I want you to give up your rights so that I get 100%. Because I'm like, dude, like, okay, well, if we're doing Rome, then like, there's gonna be a bunch of messy blue hairs around here. Like, it's what it is. What's going on, Rage Nation and Javi? Welcome to the chat. Happy to see both of you. Sorry for cutting you off, 7-7.
Oh no, you're good. See, I got an issue with. So what? I don't know how to pronounce his name. Razi, is that it?
Razi. Yeah.
Okay, so I get what Razi's saying, right? But the way that this world works now, you're not allowed to be aggressive, because then it's like, hey, you're a threat. We need to call the police. Right. So you can't. 9 out of 10 people don't want to get into a physical altercation. I say that because what I was saying earlier was, if a transformer is, let's say a director at the school or principal says, hey, kids, we're going to have somebody come in, because you mentioned it earlier. You got me all fired up and hit the link. Yeah. So you said, let's just say if a transformer was in there trying to read a story to kids, I said in the chat, I guess I'm going to have to go to school and fight the transformer inside the school. But then that would be a terrorist act. It would be like what is it when you attack one of those people? That would be considered what is that?
Hate crime.
A hate crime. There you go. So instead of, back in the 70s or 80s, if you fought somebody, you were thrown in jail for a couple of days. But this would be considered like a terrorist act now if I did that. Right. So that's what I don't believe in. I don't think that they need to be sheltered and protected with these rights. Just treat them like a normal human being.
Right.
His name's John. his name's John. I'm gonna fight John inside of a school, and my son will probably get kicked out of it. Simple as that. I fought John at a school. Go ahead.
100%. Like it, and that's the issue. Like, it scares me to death, the prospect of having a child in school, because like there's so many different variables of stuff. Because like I could only imagine my kid comes home being like, yeah, like the teacher's like on my neck and treat me a certain type of way. I get up there, I'm like, me and the teacher are gonna have a conversation.
Oh yeah,
because I'm not gonna have you treat my kid different because he's different. Yeah. And then I get in there and it's John with the dress on and blue hair, and I'm like,
oh yeah,
okay, John. Well, now we have a problem because like I don't even know how they're gonna hash this out in the news, because like I'm about to give you this business at this point. Like,
I mean, that's what every parent should do. I think.
Yeah.
You know, the people that I'm more afraid of in this world are the people that say, hey, you know, it's, you know, what can I do? I don't have any power. I feel bad for the people that feel powerless because they've given this country away.
Well, they've
given it away.
They've pigeonholed, they've shamed, they've made people. I mean, they literally were. Huffington Post wrote an article that said if you're white and go to the gym, you're a white supremacist.
Wow.
They don't even want y'all working out. Like they've done everything that they can do to make people into a weak state. They tell white men that you guys are supposed to be weak, you're supposed to be fragile, you're supposed to tiptoe on eggshells, and you're supposed to feel bad about who you are, that you had no choice in what skin you were born, you just won. Like, no big deal. And then they want black people, all the imagery that we get, you're gay. So
Dude, think of how amazingly racist that thought is. Like, think of the people, because you know who you're talking about, right? You're talking about middle America soccer moms who feel super guilty about being white and super guilty that they're not gay, right? So they have to like push really hard and virtue signal. But think about this, man. They believe that they're so much better than black people just based on their skin color.
Oh, dude. So
that they have to say that it's white supremacy. The fact that I live in such a better situation than you is white supremacy. No, like, bitch, you're not better.
It's not even that, dude. I can tell you from firsthand experience. Like, I dated an older white woman, and it ended up being like one of the reasons that like it was real easy for me to end this relationship. But like, we used to have back and forth because she is very wealthy. What?
No, I'm just laughing because you said it was easy to end the relationship.
Oh, dude, it was.
She was nuts. That's why.
No, she wasn't. No? She was really smart, but it was when I finally realized that these liberals, these ultra liberal white women,
right?
I think ultra liberal white people, period, because like the only standpoint that they can see any black person from, even somebody like myself, like I'm telling her, and she's like, well, you know, blah 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 blah. And like I was feeling some type of way at the time, and I was like, well, you know, I could just take my shit and leave. And she was just like, oh, well, you know, there's places outside of the US where they would never let somebody like you in a boardroom, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, wait a second. I was like, why are you making the assumption I'm going to have to work after I leave here?
What the
for fuck? Somebody else who looks like you.
Right.
Like, and she did not, like, she just let it slip out. And she was the most liberal. Like, we got to do everything for everybody. And and I'm like, you do realize that, like, what you just said, like, you can't even see me not working for a white person. Wow. Like, you can't even put that together in your fucking head. I could go do something.
No, I like to say in my personal life, I find myself saying this a lot because I think people, like, I find myself saying this quote. I say, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? Yeah. And I say that because I find a lot of people saying very derogatory they call it sneak dissing. They'll say like some real ignorant shit to you. And when you check them on it, that seems to stop. You know, people don't do that. And we need to do that more, is to stop people from disrespecting us immediately. You know what I mean?
100%. Well, and the thing is, if we're going to,
people will fall in line with that.
Yep. The issue that I have, it's like, if you're gonna compete with somebody, you shouldn't want them dogged down so that way you can have a seat at the table. You should compete with them,
right?
And compete with them. Like I want, and also the concept of like wanting people to go around feeling bad about themselves, like that in and of itself also is evil. Like there's no benefit for that. Like regardless of what happened, I'm like, last I checked, 7-7, you didn't own no slaves. we know now that Casey definitely didn't own no slaves. And you know what I'm saying? I'm like, you didn't do anything to me. You just exist. Like,
I mean, you know what it is though? It's a lot of pushed agendas that you know, it's like if you don't have a decent argument, most of my friends happen to be black. So my best friend's black. His name's Doug.
What's going on, Muslim guy?
You know what's sad is like
you can come up if you want. Oh, sorry.
I was just thinking about this today. Matter of fact, it's funny you bring up the race and all that. So like, when my son sees somebody on TV or sees somebody out here in the world, he doesn't say they're black, they're white, they're Spanish. He doesn't even say female or male. So like, the way I'm raising him is not to say, hey, this is a black person. You know what I mean? I think that we were turned into these monsters because why do I have to know a black man is an African American? Why do I have to know somebody is a Hispanic person? Why can't we just end that? You know what I mean? Why was that ever invented? Even though I get it, culture and all that shit.
Yeah.
You know?